Hi everybody, my name is Sam and I work for the Region of Waterloo Library. Today I'm going to be reading Leaf Man by Lois Ehlert with you, and at the end we're going to do some really fun activities with some autumn leaves. So make sure to stick around for that, and let's jump straight into our story. Leaf Man by Lois Ehlert. I love this first page and how it has all these different types of leaves and it says what type they are. I see a lot of maple leaves when I'm outside. What kind of leaves do you recognize? Leaf Man used to live near me in a pile of leaves. Can you see Leaf Man? I see he's made out of all these different types of leaves of different shapes and colors and sizes. But yesterday the wind blew Leaf Man away. He left no travel plans. The last time I saw him, he was headed east, past the chickens. Do you see chickens on this page? I see 2 chickens made out of leaves. Toward the marsh, over the ducks and geese, a leaf man's got to go where the wind blows. He blew over the fields of pumpkins and winter squash. Do you see any mice on this page? I see 4 sneaky mice. Can you find them all? Got 1, 2, 3, 4. He flew over the turkey, past potatoes, carrots, and cabbages in rows. I love this turkey, how it's made out of all different leaves, so many shapes and colors. Then he blew out of sight. Is he drifting west, above the orchards? Or over the prairie meadows? Where do you think Leaf Man's headed? If you were a leaf and you were flying with the wind, where would you want to go? And past the spotted cows? Well, a leaf man's got to go where the wind blows. I love the little tails made out of leaves here. Maybe leaf man's gliding on a lake breeze? Or flying along the river. Look at all these fish. Following butterflies going south? Well, a leaf man's got to go where the wind blows. He might even be traveling north, above leaves that look like him, or flying over mountains with a flock of birds. When Leaf Man looks down on Earth, is he lonesome for home? What do you think? Do you think Leaf Man misses his home? Or do you think he likes the adventure? This I do know. Where a leaf man will land, only the wind knows. So listen for a rustle in the leaves. Maybe you'll find a leaf man waiting to go home with you. And that's the end of our story today. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump into our activities. And today we're actually gonna be making our very own leaf man. All right, my friends, we're gonna go ahead and jump into our first activity. So we're gonna be making our very own leaf man. If you have a craft kit, you'll find some different colors of paper and you'll find these googly eye stickers. You'll also need to grab some glue, some scissors, and a marker to draw the face on your leaf man. If you're following along at home and you didn't have a craft kit, these are the materials you'll need to gather. Now we need one more thing to make our leaf man. We are going to need to collect some leaves from outside. So this is a good opportunity to get outside. You could go to a trail, you could go into your backyard or in front of your house or the park and see if you can find some different leaves of different colors, shapes, and sizes, just like in the story we just read. So these are the leaves I collected this morning, and we're going to use these to make our craft. So your first step is going to be to pick the paper that you want. I'm going to go with red for the background of my leaf man, but you can pick whatever color you'd like. Even if you have a piece of paper at home that's a different color that wasn't in your kit, feel free to use that. And then we're going to take our leaves and we're going to start laying out the shape we want for our leaf man. Now it can be whatever you want. It doesn't need to be a leaf man. It could be a leaf girl. It could be a chicken or a mouse like in the story. It could be a turkey, whatever you want it to be. We're going to start by making the shape. So I'm going to go ahead and make the shape of mine and then we'll come back and we'll glue them down together. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with the shape of my leaf man here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my glue and we're going to start gluing all these leaves down. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside to dry for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until the leaves aren't gonna fall off the page anymore. You could put a heavy book on this if you want your leaves to sit flat, but I actually kind of like the way they look like they're popping off the page. So I'm just gonna set this aside to dry and then we'll come back and finish him together. All right, now that I've let my leaf man dry for a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and cut him out. All right, now that we've cut around the outside of our leaf man, our last two steps are gonna be to add a face. So I'm gonna take these stickers that we had in our kit and I'm gonna pop them on. And then our last step is going to be to take a marker and we're gonna add a little smiley face. And that's it. Now you have your very own leaf man. Okay, so for our second activity, we're gonna use our leftover leaves to do a fun little drawing game. If you noticed in the story, they used a bunch of different leaves to make the pictures in the book. So the animals and the fruits and vegetables, they were all made out of leaves. So what we're gonna do for this activity is we're gonna take a handful of leaves and just drop them on the paper. And then I'm gonna take my marker and I'm gonna just trace the outline of where the leaves fell. Right, I think that looks pretty good. So once you're done that step, we're gonna just brush the leaves off of our paper. So I'm just gonna pour them back in my bin here. And then we're gonna take a look at our paper and see what we can see in our outline. So I kind of see a person here, like this is the head and maybe that's their curly hair. So I'm gonna take my marker and I'm gonna start drawing that. This does not need to be perfect. This is just an exercise to use our imagination and our creativity and kind of do a fun activity with some leaves. And then I can just take a look at my picture and see what else I can see now. For some reason, this is jumping out to me as like a tea kettle, so I'm gonna see if I can make it into a tea kettle. You can do this a bunch of times too by just dropping the leaves on different pieces of paper and seeing what you come up with. There's my little tea kettle, and then you can just keep going. So maybe I'll add a few more pictures and then we'll finish up together. Okay, so I added a couple more pictures. So I thought this kind of looked like a thumbs down, so I added a little nail to make it look like a finger. And then in this middle part, there was like this little area here that I thought could maybe be a giraffe's neck. So I drew a little giraffe here and his neck is kind of, his head's going off the page. So again, really, really silly, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just a fun little exercise to be creative and see what you can make with the leaves. And those are our activities for the day. I really, really hope that you enjoyed the story and that you'll try out the crafts at home. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next time.